Alright, so we're back on this Jeep project. We're going to try and figure out what's making this thing run rough and have some vibration to it. First thing we're going to do is pull this coil rail off and take the spark plugs out and look at them and see what they look like and possibly clean them and see if maybe that doesn't help run, because we don't want to spend the money to put plugs in it right now because our friend doesn't want to spend a whole lot of money on it right now if it's got a bigger problem with it. The other thing we might try and check is the ignition timing with a timing light and make sure the ignition timing's right, and then we're going to go from there and see if any of that makes it run any better. So stay tuned. Alright, so we got one of the plugs out here. We actually already took a couple out. This is number 4, something like that. You can see on the ground strap here, it's pretty nasty. It actually looks kind of rusty, so it looks like these plugs are fairly new, so it looks like somebody changed the spark plugs and then the vehicle sat for a while, possibly. And we're hoping maybe we're just gonna kind of clean these up and see if that improves in any, because our friend doesn't want to put a whole lot into it if it's got some major mechanical issues. Money into it, that is, if it's got some major mechanical issues. So we're trying to do things on a bit of a shoestring budget for him at the time being, and then from there we might splurge and actually buy a set of plugs for it. So we're going to check the rest of the plugs and see how they look, and then we're going to put them back in and put the coil pack back on and fire it up and see if it runs any better. And we'll bring you back for that. Here's a quick after shot of the spark plug. Kind of wheel the wire, brushed it off, cleaned up the ground strap and around the electrode a little bit. And we also, this one needed the gap to adjust a little bit. We set it to what the factory spec is. It's about 35 thousandths. And a couple of these other plugs look kind of nasty, so hopefully cleaning these up will make this thing run a little bit better. We're going to find out here in a little bit. Alright, so we're going to got all the plugs back in and the coil hooked all back up. And we're going to try and start it up and see how it runs now. Still seems to have a little bit of vibration. I don't know if you can tell on the camera. Let's see if we can get this thing to focus on the dash cluster here. Put it in gear and see. And it still seems to run kind of rough. So that's neutral. I'll put it drive. To neutral, reverse. I don't know if you can hear that on the camera, but it's got a little bit of a stutter to it, especially when it's loaded up in gear. So I guess it's on to the next idea for why this thing's running rough. While we were at it, we went ahead and took the valve cover off here and checked, make sure all these rocker arms were tight. We actually even went ahead and ran it for a few seconds with the valve cover off to see if maybe we had a collapsed lifter or the rocker arm was loose, and everything seems to be okay. So we're going to go ahead and pop the valve cover back on it and keep on searching for the cause of this rough running issue. Hopefully in that last clip where I started the Jeep, you could maybe hear where it was still running rough after we tried to clean the plugs up. Also, the other thing I did off camera was that coil rail, as it's referred to by people on the internet, I checked the resistance on the 3 different coil packs there in that coil rail, and they seem to be good. And it still seems to run rough, so we're not exactly sure what's going on with it. But this is kind of where we're going to stop with it for now, until maybe we do a little more research possibly, and have a think on it, and maybe come up with something else that we can try and check. And also some research showed me that the ignition timing apparently is allegedly non-adjustable on these Jeeps with the coil pack rail on it like that, as opposed to the older ones that have distributors. So we're unable to check that, as well as I don't have a way to hook my timing light up anyways to the number one cylinder because of the way the boots are on the spark plugs. So that's pretty much going to be it for now. So stay tuned. Hopefully we'll come up, maybe have another video on it. Maybe we can get this thing fixed and running good. If you have any ideas, maybe leave a comment below in the comment section, and about what might be wrong with this thing. But thanks for watching.